experiencing this in real time with my business and trying to figure out how to make us as a small business look like a big business and keep up with those giants, right?
CallRail is like mostly small businesses. Like that's where we focus all of our
Oh
efforts
yeah.
on. And like that's why it's so important, I think, to us to like make some of these things easy and affordable. I actually feel like you guys are really lucky. Like I think HVAC and refrigeration techs are like safe compared to anyone else. Like no skilled trade, is ever going to be really replaced by I mean, the TikTok and the YouTube or searches are still there, but now it's like a lot of them are just going to chat GPT, right?
Oh,
Or they're
I'm
going to
still
like,
learning
yeah,
that part. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's like the next kind of frontier.
Just look at yourself as a consumer, and that's how your customers are too.
Yeah, I would
So
say like myself as a consumer, I'm like, I don't see anything online or if I'm like
yeah.
cross-referencing, platforms, I'm like, is this business real? Then you're also a business owner. So it's like you're kind of wearing like two different caps and trying to be a marketer at the same time.
I can take you through the wave of like how that's looked over 20 years, right? Because when I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
started, hola, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reliable Trades podcast. I'm your host, Adrian, and I'm an HVAC business owner here in South Texas. I do, a little bit of content creation and things of that nature online. On this podcast, we interview a lot of tradespeople from many different trades, business owners, people in manufacturing, people in software companies, new technicians, older technicians, people that start at 18, 16 even, and people that start in their 40s and 50s. So plenty of good conversations to be had with good people and a lot of good stories that maybe you would relate to. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcast, any other location, please leave us a review. We hope to earn those 5 stars, and I really have fun doing this podcast. I appreciate everybody that watches or listens and makes this what it is. And don't forget to check out HVAC Nights every Thursday night. Me and Jake host a live podcast weekly, and you can also check out merch from my store, the HVAC Nights, the nightwear, any of that at reliablehvacr.net. I also want to thank our sponsors that help keep this thing going. Jobber is our favorite CRM. I've tried different ones until finding Jobber that kind of controls the chaos that it is running a business and still being in the field and trying to get all the billing, quoting, submitting everything that you need to do outside of the field. And with Jobber, we do our maintenance contracts, we do our invoicing, our quoting, following up with customers to get reviews. That has helped our business a lot. And it offers website building and a whole bunch of AI features now baked in. And you can also do add-ons if you have any other software that you want, because they do work with a lot of marketing tools and things, AI receptionists and things like that. So check out Jobber for yourself. See if it helps your business. You get a 2-week free trial and a special discount if you use the link down below. Vito Pro Pack is also a supporter, and I can tell you right now, even though I see a bunch of competitors coming into the field, they are still hands down the best tool bags that you can buy. They are an investment, I understand that, but once you try one, like I did back during COVID, you won't want to use any other tool bag. And the thing is, they have so many products now that you can find the one that is perfect for you. So make sure to check out Vito Pro Pack at your supply house or go to vitopropack.com. True Tech Tools has a lot of their stuff as well. Go check out their website to make sure that you can find the perfect bag for yourself. You won't regret it. And if you guys run your own business, have you heard of CallRail? They are a call tracking service to help you with marketing needs. One of the things that I've heard a lot of is how to get customers, how to get your name out when you're just starting your business. Call tracking and marketing is a big deal, and it's helped us get our name out. And they also introduced this voice assist to help small businesses out when you can't hire or afford to hire a receptionist or even an office space to have this receptionist. So with CallRail in place, they can not only track your calls and tell you what advertisements you're using work or don't work, so you know where to spend your money, backed by data and analytics. And if you're not online, you don't exist in today's world. But they also do this voice assist receptionist that can answer the calls whether you're off, you're after hours, weekends with your family, holidays, whatever it is, you're on vacation, you want to take some time off, you still need someone to answer the phone. And in my opinion, in our experience, it's actually helped weed out the good customers from the bad and, spam type of calls that we get. It actually does work. So if you guys want to check it out for yourself, make sure to check out callrail.com. I'll leave a link where you can get a free trial and try out either tracking or the voice assist for yourself and see if you like it and if you can implement it in your business. But trust me, it's going to help you guys quite a bit. Local HQ has been a big help in our marketing and SEO. So they have built our website. They have built our searchability. They have built our Google business profile. And without that, I don't think our phone honestly would have been ringing off the hook the way it is right now. We look professional. Everything's in place for customers to find us online. And that is thanks to Local HQ. They are a marketing company that is tailored to the trade. So if you want more information, check out the link below and mention me or the Reliable Trades podcast and get 2 months of SEO for free. All right, Megan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you, Adrian?
Staying extremely busy. The work has been very crazy this year. We'll kind of get into why I think that is, but if you can introduce yourself and what you do over at CallRail and kind of what they do and provide for home businesses, home services.
Yeah, absolutely. So nice to meet everyone on air. I'm Meagan McLaughlin. I am the principal marketing manager over at CallRail for all of our new products and stuff like that. And CallRail in general, I think, has been around for a while. I think we're 15 years old at this point, but we started as a call tracking and marketing attribution company. So if you are spending, marketing dollars on Google ads or billboards is probably a bad example, but whatever it might be, right? We tell you if it's working or not, and we kind of give you the data behind it, so if I put $1 in here, do I get $5 out? Kind of make it simple in that respect. And so we've been building out AI products over the past couple of years. And most recently, we launched an AI product that's called Voice Assist. And it's focused on an AI voice agent that can be kind of like a receptionist or what I think about it for home services is a dispatcher's assistant type of thing, not replacing anyone necessarily. But that's our latest and greatest product. And that's what I've been focused on quite a bit. And I think that's...
How long have you been at CallRail?
I've been at CallRail for, I think, 3.5 years now.
Okay, because I was going to ask if you've seen anything, because I think everything always goes back to COVID. I think during that time, after that time, it's very different than from before then, where I think social media kind of blew up, online marketing, everybody's, online doing, everything now. And I feel like softwares like CallRail and, having a CRM, because we didn't have a CRM even to help us with invoicing and quoting before that time. I was doing everything paper and written, and it drove me nuts. It drove me nuts because my dad started this business, and I've always been there behind the scenes. Even when I started, I was a helper, but I did all the documents, paperwork, billing, collecting. He always sucked me with that because he was really good at, networking and turning wrenches, but he didn't know how to do all the computer, type of stuff or technology stuff. So I've always done that. And I love the switch now to take advantage of technology, which is, like I said, a CRM controls that chaos. And then now we're implementing marketing tactics or techniques with CallRail and, just having a website, having SEO. And I didn't know any of this stuff a few years ago. So now we're looking into it, and I think it's helped a lot. Have you noticed that kind of change as well? Just, being with CallRail, and I'm sure you've done similar work beforehand, and the switch over to you have to be online, you have to keep up with technology, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think, I think that trend was happening even before then, but like COVID kind of
Amplified
exasperated
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Um, and like if you think about during COVID, like you couldn't really use that word of mouth leverage that you probably once had, right? You're not like running into
Yeah.
people at the grocery store anymore, right? And so like everyone's online. That we knew. And I think especially like as like newer generations come into play, like you gotta be wherever they are,
Hmm.
essentially. And spoiler alert, like Gen Z's online.
It's
um,
weird because even me interviewing like 19-year-old technicians or people in the field, you know, because I've been doing this almost 20 years, which is always weird for me to say, but I've been doing it a long time. I've seen the trends. And I will ask these younger kids, and we hired a few people now, so I've asked them too, where do you learn or how do you, kind of excel or, get more information? It's YouTube. That's a big one, or TikTok, or, social media. Because before it was like a Google search, or, trying to find these things, trying to find manuals, paper, textbooks, all that. And now it's the Google search has turned into, oh, it's a YouTube search. Oh, it's a TikTok search, even at that, right? Those are big search engines that have kind of taken over with this new generation. And if you're not online, you don't exist.
yeah, and even in the past couple of months, it's been like, the TikTok and the YouTube or searches are still there, but now it's like a lot of them are just going to ChatGPT, right?
Oh,
Or they're
I'm
going to
still learning
yeah,
that part. Yeah.
yeah. That's like the next kind of frontier. And one of the things that we think about, as like a marketing, call it like a marketing attribution or tracking kind of company is like, can we tell you that someone searched in ChatGPT and then found your business and then
Oh,
like, and make sure it's serviceable and stuff like that. And so,
I've heard
um,
of that. I didn't know that was a thing because uh, someone said, like, as far as like SEOs and being optimized and, being searchable, that's kind of been my focus this year, and it's worked because a lot of our new customers have found us through a Google search or finding our website. They find us online. That's all this year. That's all they've done is find us online. It's not word of mouth anymore. It's very weird because we relied on that so much in the past, and it
mhm.
worked, and it still works. But I always tell people it's like put yourself or look at what you do. I look at reviews. I look at searches myself. Like when I want to go eat somewhere, I'm doing a Google search. I'm looking at reviews. I'm going through a list of things online. And if they have a website, even better. If they have an Instagram page or a TikTok page that I can see their food,
Oh,
even
totally. Yeah.
better. So just look at yourself as a consumer, and that's how your customers are too.
Yeah, I would
So
say, like myself as a consumer, I'm like, I don't see anything online or if I'm like
yeah,
cross-referencing, platforms. I'm like, is this business real? Like,
exactly. I always get
um,
upset when I don't find even like a Facebook. I'm like, you have to at least have like a Facebook or Instagram or something to show what you offer, right? Because if not, you're like, is this business legit, or do they just not, are they not good? Something. You start thinking of other things because, again, online presence, I feel like is such a big thing now, and I've heard that before. As far as like, you know making yourself searchable and optimizing for chat gpt, I didn't even know that was a thing. I just heard that the other week, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, now I got to worry about something else.
yeah.
So did you know that another sponsor of the show, Diversitech, is probably in a lot of y'all's vans? They are the umbrella that is Master Care Cleaners, Packard Parts, Hillmore Tools, Fresh Air UV, Swoosh, Quick Sling, Speed Clean, Assurity, and Spin Tools. I have almost something from all of those brands in my van ever since we've started. Packard is a big one for us as far as parts. They usually have something that we would need on a day-to-day basis. So the next time you're replacing parts, maybe look at the name and see if it's one of those. They are your one-stop shop for everything HVAC, and they have you covered for your everyday HVAC needs.
There's always like a new thing, which is I think probably hard to keep up with. I would assume as like you're like in it day to day, right? In like the thick of like actually like going to people's businesses and like fixing like their HVAC and refrigeration. But then you're also a business owner. So it's like you're kind of wearing like two different
Yeah.
caps and trying to be a marketer at the same time. So I really empathize with that. That's probably challenging.
So
What are you
I
guys
can take
doing?
you, I
Yeah.
can take you through the wave of like how that's looked over 20 years, right? Because when I
Yeah.
started,
Think about it.
my dad, came started the business out of, he started all the legal stuff, got everything in place, and then he had to leave his job. That was a whole like complicated issue. Just one day he had to leave. So they didn't like that he had a, I guess, because it's always been frowned upon if you want to start your own business, because obviously you're working somewhere and then you leave and you start your own business. So that was a whole
Right.
situation that he found himself in. So he started a lot sooner than he anticipated, right? He's like, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to start. He gave me a name. I had to figure out the logos, the uniforms. He's like, I need business cards. I was like, okay, cool. Let me design something. So all that fell on me. So I've been doing the marketing is what I've been trying to tell people like since we started.
Yeah.
And there's always been, you know, legibility. Does it pop? Is it unique? Do people remember it? Like those are things that we've always tried to do. And it started with handing out business cards, handing out, and my dad knew that he wanted to stand out. And I was like, yeah, for sure. We did like brochures. We did, something that stood out instead of just business cards. And
Mhm.
we do commercial, but we went business to business. I went to several restaurants, dropped these things off in person, talk to the manager, get a feel for their personality, kind of. You got to buddy with them. You got to make them feel comfortable. All that is how we started, and word of mouth helped a lot back in the day. But then we started seeing a shift halfway through that, where every customer we had, you know, because we were still doing paper invoices,
Uh-huh.
collecting checks, all that kind of stuff, and they were transitioning to online, where I had to be in a system, in a portal, and they had their own online systems to dispatch work and be billed and pay and all that. And my dad was super old school. Like we had to kind of keep up with the technology part of it. So I've seen the trends and stuff change, where it's like it's word of mouth. It's handing stuff out in person, and now it's like, do you have a nice website? Do you have the van wraps are a big one for us too. When
Uh-huh.
back then we didn't really emphasize the wraps, and getting the wraps out, getting the website up. We have somebody that does our website, does our SEO now, and I can tell you it's working, because every day now I get random numbers calling and they leave messages, and we are using a different number to track so that we know that it came from online,
Yeah. Yeah.
versus like our old number. I'm like, oh, these are all new customers. These are all finding us through like an online search.
Yeah, there's so much I think room to grow is kind of what you learn from like going into it's almost you're almost expanding channels, right? Like your word of mouth is a channel. Even like having a van wrap is kind of a channel in itself,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, it works. It
Um,
works a lot too,
Posters.
especially when you
Yeah.
start. I would say word of mouth and van wraps are your biggest way to get your word out, but you need to, grow and learn, and like you said, you take advantage of all these other channels, because that's not you're missing out on so many opportunities if you don't put yourself out there in as many platforms or areas where they can find you. Like they're looking everywhere.
And then are you guys doing anything on like a paid search sort of listing? So like Google Ads or even local service ads are like
So
the newest, not newest, but are like a
yeah,
popular thing, I think, among
see, that's what
offices and
I've been talking with other guys, because it's a lot of it has to do with the kind of service you provide, and doing, in my field, doing residential versus like commercial. So I've been around a lot of commercial guys for a long time, and I've tried the paid ads before, but I recently, with the help from CallRail, I do want to get back into that solely, if anything, because my whole thing is before when I tried the paid ads, it didn't work because, we don't need the average homeowner to find us. We need like restaurant owners, people that manage hospitals, stuff like that. And the percentage is very small when you throw out these local
Yeah.
ads on online. But again, things have changed. So back then I didn't see a point in it, so we stopped doing that. My whole thing now, because I've talked now with residential companies, people that manage any and all home service businesses, they spend a ton of money on marketing a month, and they're like, if you're not spending this money, you're not seeing results, right? That is a big thing right now. So if there's anybody, commercial listening, and there's a lot of them that do watch or listen, and I talk to regularly, my whole thing is I'm not using these, or I'm not going to use these online ads to get like 50 customers or whatever it is, because I don't do residential. But I think online presence is a big deal right now. So I want to be known in my area, in my city. Oh, we've seen them everywhere. We've seen them online. We've seen their logo plastered or just in ads. I think online presence is super important, and just being well known. And also, we've been around almost 20 years, and I feel like people probably don't even know that we exist in our own area because, we just run around and do work here and there. We don't advertise, and I want to change that. I think, like I said, online presence is a big deal, and you can do that with like these tactics of online marketing or ads.
Yeah, and a tip for you if you are gonna like dip your toes back in. So those Google ads and those local service ads are expensive.
Yeah.
Like you pay for the customers, but I mean, I think to your point, like it's a huge growth lever, right? You can pull it at any time, put some money in, and you get the customers out, which is nice. But there's like a couple of things that you probably want to like think about. One, which might be helpful for you, local service ads. It's basically, when you search like HVAC near me and like Google's like right
Yeah.
near me, like it's like really pushing you to say that like gives you a local service ad. Um, if it is not a qualified lead, like you can tell Google essentially, and then they don't charge you for it, which is great.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and so, I mean, I'll plug like a quick call rail. Like we do things like lead qualification or like lead scoring. And so you can probably identify quickly which are the bad ones and which ones you can say, hey, Google, give me my money back, um, which is nice. And then um, we also kind of like tend to connect voice assist to a lot of like these like paid ad features because if you're going to pay for a customer to come in, you got to answer that call, right? Like I think it's
Hmm.
always important to answer a call. Like any silence is essentially expensive, right? If you miss the call, you miss the job, and you're paying to generate those leads at least. Um, so then you're in the red if you're missing those. So that's a good opportunity to plug in like an AI voice agent, whether it's from CallRail or another business or something like that.
Yeah, I've actually been excited for the AI receptionist, and kind of everybody's against AI in general, especially in the trades. But it unless you use it, you don't understand like how it can be helpful, or uh, it can benefit, and you can kind of set it up, the way it works, or the way you would want it to work, and the way you would want to implement it in your business, because it can't at the moment stand alone. Like you still have to interject. You're still gonna make those phone calls and callbacks and follow up, and do all that kind of stuff. You still have to do that. It's just helping you when you're tied up, and that's how we're using it in our business.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. I actually feel like you guys are really lucky. Like I think HVAC and refrigeration techs are like safe compared to anyone else. Like no skilled trade, is ever going to be really replaced by AI. But I think like it can help with like the administrative drag, right? Or like just peace of mind, right? If you're missing calls while you're out on the job, and like what we see is actually like 85% of people don't end up calling back. I mean, maybe you call them back and you kind of recover that lead, but
Mhm.
um especially maybe for like maybe the residential HVAC, they probably go down the list and they're like, hey,
Oh
like my
yeah.
AC's out and it's 100 degrees, like someone's got to get here. And then I think there's also the element of like after hours, or like if you're spending time with your family or you're like going to pick your kid up at school or something like that, like you don't want to like sacrifice that time, and just have like AI do that instead. So it's not like replacing anyone in a lot of respects right now.
No,
um
and so for like a small business, because we've always been like a 3-man, 4-man operation. Like I said, we just started hiring, so that's going to expand barely this year. It's always been my dad and my brother with me, and then we had one other technician that we onboarded, a few years ago. So as a small business, and the ups and downs that we've had, and in the beginning hiring too many people, not being able to pay all those people, like we've struggled and learned the hard way how to run a business. And so I feel for, small businesses, and if you're a small business, can you afford to hire a receptionist like in person, and maybe that phone doesn't ring, right? You don't have uh, recurring income. You don't have the phone ringing off the hook. You don't have the business to keep them busy. You might have them doing something else as well, but as a receptionist, there you might not have enough work or be able to pay one or afford one, let alone the office building that you need to rent out or whatever to have them there. Because I can tell you from experience, we tried a few times to have an office, and then we figured out, we're just running around all day. We're never in the office. So that was a wasted expense in my
right.
situation. So we don't have a physical location at the moment. Now that we're expanding, we're looking into it. But if it's just me, my brother, my dad, we didn't need a place to meet up. We could just meet up at my dad's house. Like, there was nothing that we needed a physical office for. So here comes AI receptionists. And I will say, because I do want to get into, I've just been busy showing on my channel like how good this thing can be. So I do want to do some test calls and kind of show everybody, so if you're listening or watching, we're going to get to that. There are some bad ones and there are some good ones. So I've been pitched before the chat GPT ones that just robot answers. And but they're CallRail has a good one that sounds natural, and you can kind of you know script it, or have it set up the way you need to. But for me, again, not being able to afford someone there to answer the phone all day, not being able to even afford an office space, that's where something like this helps a small business tremendously. Because, like you said, if I miss a call, they call somebody else. What what I've learned, I just want to quickly say, what I've learned is the customers that leave a message with our AI will or are serious customers. The ones that don't leave a message, almost every time I try to call back, they're either trying to sell me something, or it's something completely not in our scope of work. Like they want something, windows or something else. I'm like, I don't, or cabinets. I'm like, we don't do that. So uh, it does weed out good and bad customers, and it does a pretty good job. Because if a customer immediately hangs up or doesn't want to talk to it, it's typically, like I said, spam or scams, or people just cold calling for different things. And even if they don't like it, they've left us a message. Can I please talk to somebody? And then the AI will kind of relay that message to you. And then you're like, oh, okay, I need to call this person back and, talk to them. And I've that's how I've worked the AI receptionist into our business. And we've had good luck with it. And we've onboarded some customers from those calls.
Yeah. I mean, that's great to hear. And I actually never get to see the other side of the coin of like, oh, this person hung up on, uh, you know, the AI, like what's going on there. So it's good to hear that those are often like not the good leads anyway. But
Well, like what
yeah,
I've heard from others is like because other people have used like different ones. They only go back and call the local numbers, right? So that's what I've tried to do because if it's like a weird area code, like obviously we're not even dealing with that area or it's a 800 number or something like that. But
yeah.
these uh I don't know what you call them, like telemarketers, like people that sell stuff, they've gotten so good to where now they're using uh what do you call that, like the fake numbers, like they can generate like a local
Oh,
number.
yeah. I get like a bunch from my area code where I grew up because that's like where my phone is. It's
And
always
they're
like
not
one number different from my phone
yeah.
number. I'm like, I know. It's not-
And it's not it's just a it's just a tactic that they use to for you to answer the phone, and they're from completely, you know, somewhere else. And
oh yeah.
that's what we've seen a lot. So it's like I'll call the local numbers back and I'll see if it's even a real person and go from there. But like for the most part, if they need service and they like us, because like I said, our you need to have everything in place, like your professional website, reviews, you know, your Google business profile was a big one for us this year. If they see all that, they're going to want you because they, you know, when I've called back and they left messages, they really want us to do the work. They're willing to leave a message and wait for us to call back. And I've even had some that complain, "Oh man, I don't know this and that," but we want you to do the work. We want you to do the work because I think everything else has been so professional and it just looks good. Your brand looks good that they still want you.
Yeah, and I think it's a I mean, I know everyone would rather talk to a human than AI. I'm not contesting that at all, but I think
Yeah,
it's like at least someone picked up the phone and like I feel like I'm getting my message over to them or like what I need done. And I think we've seen a lot of like this is actually like a lot of our home services customers have picked up on using like these voice assistants and stuff like that. And a lot of them kind of say like, all right, like I'm going to collect, you know, this, and this from someone. Maybe it's like their location, their timeline, like what they need done. They could even send us a picture, you know, whatever it might be. We can send them a job or like booking link or something like that. Um, and then they kind of like they know, hey, this person's looking for windows. This person's not even like
yeah,
I shouldn't even bother calling this person back, right? Or like this is out of my area, like which actually like the agent should know at that point, like, hey, like we actually don't service outside of, you know, this part of
yeah.
Texas or something like that. Um, but yeah, it does like lot of cool stuff. And we've been trying to make it easier and easier to use just because we don't expect anyone to be like an AI expert, right? Like you guys got
Yeah.
other things to worry about. And so like we're like, give us your website. And I mean, I looked at your website, it's great. We're like, let us quickly train on it. And you know, you can edit anything that you want, but like that's basically the brain, you know, of like your new assistant or something like that. And just making it as easy as possible to kind of get up and running.
Yeah, and
Um,
these AI things do pretty well because it knows, you know, the kind of work that you do, and you can kind of like you said, train it, and it knows your area. It knows, you know, it also knows what questions to ask because obviously the only thing you want a receptionist to do, whether it's a person or AI, is take their information down and what's the complaint, like so that we know if we can, you know, help them out. So like I've had good luck with it, and I recently just had one the other day that was it was like what do you call it, like an agency type of deal, because again we deal with commercial. So this was
mhm.
somebody that handled a chain of restaurants, so they weren't from here and they called us, but they left a message with the AI, and the AI was asking it like, you know, what city specifically do you need service in, because you know it's an out of town number, and they listed the cities. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know those. And they just said they were handling they were basically the middleman for the restaurant that has like 20 stores here, but they were looking for somebody to service. So I got a lot of information, you know, off of that phone call that the AI took from them, like what cities do they need service in, what kind of work do they need, leave all your contact info, you know, basic stuff. And what I forgot to mention is it's really convenient even to be checking, because I check it at work. I get requests all the time and it comes
Yeah.
in, and I'm able to check them because you get the recording. Now, I've had a few that were a little too long for me to listen to, but you get a transcript as well. You can just skim through it and read and see if it's anything that you need to address or call back. So it's not just like a recording. It's a, and I think it's an AI summarization as well too, right?
Yeah, we do a summary and then we basically have the AI fill out a form type of thing. So like I actually made you a demo line if you ever want to try it based on your
I need
website and stuff.
to, I kind of
Yeah.
want to show like on
Yeah.
video how that works and kind of have people hear it for themselves.
Yeah, we can do that. But I looked at when I was setting it up for you, I just looked at like the form field that you have on your website and I was like, ask them all of these questions and like that's I mean, probably what you use on like any like web leads, right, that come in. So like if that's the information you want out of anybody, like just have the AI ask that and it fills it out for you and it can send it over to your CRM or your inbox or really like wherever you want. And then also you get the transcript and the summary and the recording. But I always
Which,
think of those as like deeper dive. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like
it's super
what else?
helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's super helpful because I kind of always like listen. I might be on a job site and I'm just like skimming through and seeing if I need to, step aside and call them back. Again, it's just if you're in the trades, in any trade, electricians, we do HVAC, any trade, you are most likely still in the field. I mean, you're, unless you've grown to a certain number and you run a bigger business, you're still in the field. Like that's how all small businesses run. The owner is still working.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you need, you know, you can't be on the phone all day. I can't be on the computer all day. I can't, it's just not possible. It's hard for me to even just sit down for 5 minutes. So it's just difficult. And this is just another tool to help you, as a CRM would help you with your invoicing, quoting, scheduling. You don't want to be doing all that yourself. You can have something in place. And this is where I believe in the trades, like AI can be helpful, is like giving you data, which is the other aspect of CallRail, right? Giving you data for
Yeah.
your marketing and ads and answering the phone. I think that's the perfect blend right there for, AI to be helpful to a small business or a big business. So something that I've been doing more now as we expand and hire people is training. Something that I've dealt with in the past is dealing with customers and their weird complaints. Where we can get help on those two fronts is actually the software called LiveSwitch. Now, LiveSwitch actually helped a lot of big sporting events. So they have a very capable system in place to where they handle a lot of things during COVID for your NBA, NFL, WWE. Whenever they had those virtual fans, that was LiveSwitch. They also helped with the 911 call, where they can have these video calls and different ways of phoning in an emergency. And now they are helping out home service businesses, because the guy that actually runs it ran a home service business himself and actually knows the difficulties and tasks as a business owner, employees, and all that comes with it. You need something that does more than just a FaceTime call. With LiveSwitch, you can do these video calls to any device that has a browser built in, and it is just a link that the customer or one of your technicians clicks on. Once you click on that link, you get end-to-end video. So if you're interested and you want to check out LiveSwitch for yourself, make sure to check out the link down below. And I think this is a game changer. And there's so much other things that I just have not even scratched the surface on. It has a lot of AI built into it. It is just meant to make this experience with your employees and technicians or your customers seamless and just a better experience for both sides.
To the conversation we were having earlier about, if you're trying to grow your business and you're marketing out there, like you're paying for those leads, right? And so you got to make sure like you're not
Yeah.
dropping the ball at the end of it, right? Like those were expensive.
Look,
Um,
let me just interject. My dad, okay, so I know that this has always been like or I've heard a thing not to do. My dad had his personal number as the work number. He never made a separate line. That's just, how he started it. And I can tell you, because like you mentioned earlier, you want your off time, you want your weekends, you want everything, right? You don't want to be answering the phone all day.
Right.
I can tell you, my dad was horrible to where I even had customers telling me about answering the phone. He would not want to answer the phone. And then I would get people telling me, oh, we need service. And it's like somebody I run into at a Home Depot or, wherever I run into people, they see me in uniform. Oh, I'm going to call. I got the number. I'm going to call this and that. I tell my dad, he's like, oh, okay. My dad's like, I don't know. I don't know if they called or not. Like, he doesn't answer numbers. He doesn't know either now. He's just gotten older to where he doesn't want to answer those calls. That is lost leads. And it drove me nuts for a while. And I'm like, you know what? We need to implement this AI receptionist, because I don't know how many calls you just sent to voicemail and they went somewhere else.
Yeah. And I mean, call tracking helps on that too. Like if you want to call log, right, where you can actually see what's happening.
Oh, I
Because your
know.
dad will
Now I can
you.
see all the calls. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have to
exactly. Like,
rely on him to tell me did they call or not. Because he would tell me,
yeah.
no, I don't think they called. I'm like, they probably did. And you send them the voicemail.
That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah. So that has been a big thing for me is I'm actually able to see all the calls now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
And
know.
yeah, and we were talking about COVID before too, and I was also thinking about like, yeah, COVID was like a thing, but then we're like in this weird AI boom and like cultural shift, and everybody's trying to figure out, we all at least are told we should be using AI, let's say, like, and like there's going to
Yeah.
be winners and losers and stuff like that. And so I think like if you think about like the dot com or like the website boom, back in the day and like how it's evolved, like you don't have a website or Google My Business listing or LSAs now, like local service ads, like you're kind of just starting to miss out. And like, what does that look like for AI in the future? Right. Like, I think there's a defensive mechanism too, right? Of like making sure that you get every lead that you have, but also other businesses are starting to use this. So
Look, let me just say, if you're, especially because we had a I had a live stream last night about somebody starting their business, and we are talking about like marketing and how that plays into just the work that you get, because they were just starting out. We've been doing this for 20 years, and I had a lot of people in the chat saying it also depends on where you're at. So like you do need to look at your competition. So if somebody's like in California, you're gonna have a ton of competition in these big cities. So you can bet that those companies are doing everything in their power to have online marketing and all these ads and everything. Like they're gonna push everybody out if they can just have their brand everywhere. And if you're not doing it, they are your competitors are doing it.
oh, totally. And I feel like, I mean, you might know this better than I do, but I feel like a lot of professional services businesses, like, they're starting to get bought up by investors or like
Oh,
private equity firms. And
yeah.
like you see it in dental, you start to see like all these chains or like vets. Like I went to go bring my dog to a vet the other day and I was like, I want like a small business to do this. This
Oh, yeah.
seems, yeah, weird. But I think I'm starting to see it in like HVACs. I don't know if anybody's ever approached you or anything like that, but like those big businesses or those like PE backed firms, like they all now have like marketing teams and call centers and like it's a different playing field when you're up against them too. So like being
That's a good way
scrappy, I
to
think is important.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's you're trying to even the playing field. The playing field is you will get left behind. I'm sorry, because you bring up that I have been approached several
Oh,
times
really?
to if
Yeah, because
I
they're like
even
cash cows of
yeah, and
businesses.
I've
They think.
even I've even had one that was like super nice to me, never brought it up, and then they're like, because I think they were coming down here, like they were local to Texas,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I don't know, I don't have time, this and that, and then they were like, well, if you ever want, I also buy businesses. If you ever want to looking for a way out or want to sell, and I'm like, oh no, I was like, we're never meeting. I'm good.
Yeah,
um,
that's
so
crazy.
so my whole thing, just personally is, we run a small business. My dad started this. This is his dream, his goal, and he wanted to pass it on. So I've gone into it. I love what I do, and I have kids, and I would like to leave them with something. So that's always my goal, just on a
Yeah.
personal note. But yes, I've seen so many of these companies being bought up. It is a little scary, especially because I'm from a small town in Texas. Like it's grown a lot in the past couple of years, just because we're so close to the border of Mexico. We've always had shoppers from Mexico.
Yeah.
We've always had a lot of business booming, and now construction is booming, and buildings are being put up. Like there's a ton going on here, so it's grown a lot, and it's a little scary because all the businesses that we started up with, or that were that small when we were small, or when we started, I'm starting to see all these stickers on the back that they're partnered with or owned by, or a part of this national company that I know, and I'm like, oh, they got bought up, and I'm starting to see that with a lot of these older companies now. Everybody's goal is different. If you want to build it up and sell it, that's on you. But it's a little scary when a lot of big businesses have this basically monopoly on all these other
Totally.
small, like this whole area could be 10 different companies but owned by the same company. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And that, I mean, we're like, CallRail is like mostly small businesses. Like that's where we focus all of our
Oh
efforts
yeah.
on. And like that's why it's so important, I think, to us to like make some of these things easy and affordable. Like I
Yes.
was doing the math kind of when you were talking about like hiring a receptionist earlier, and I was like, the cost of this in a month isn't even the cost of a receptionist in a day. Say they work like a
Yeah.
normal 9 to 5, let's say, at like minimum wage ish type of thing. Like, so,
And
I
I'm
mean,
not saying that eventually you don't need a physical person to handle everything. Like I would love to have somebody in the office greeting people, and calling people like throughout the day just to check up on them. Like you might need that eventually. I'm not saying it doesn't, you don't need that, but when you start, or when you can't afford it, I think this is a really good way to go around it. Or if you never want a physical office, this is a good way to work around that. Is there's another option versus you answering the phone all day, and that again, it's a lot of it's happening here too, where you see these big businesses, and them taking over. And I've seen some move down here that I've never seen before, but I knew they were from up north, and they're trying to get into the space just because I've said it. It's like booming here now,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like, man, I've never seen that company here, and now all of a sudden they're here, and they're trying to, plant their feet here, and take some business. So that is what that is part of why I've pushed this year for marketing, because if anything, even if it brings me no new customers, if anything, I'm trying to just make sure people know us, and brand awareness, be
hmm hmm
searchable, be found, be known.
yeah, yeah. But I thought you laid out like the steps to kind of grow your business quite nicely. Because like even if you're a small firm, you could use something like this, and then like hopefully you get to the good problems of like, oh, I actually need like a human to do the complex things, and that aren't like, you know, the same things that you can automate day in and day out in a lot of senses. Um, but then like at a certain point, you probably need like a dispatcher, right? Or like you need someone optimizing routes. So like you're like not driving across town,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But like, yeah, the steps to grow out your businesses are like kind of cool and kind of interesting. But also like I think I heard you say earlier that you were like looking to expand your scope of your business too. And like how's that been going for you?
Just expanding in general. It is so. I had some good advice from a guy that I always have to give him credit, because I had him on the show a couple years ago, and you know, for us, HVAC is the busiest during the summer. So like in the summer, you feel like you need to hire like 5 people. Like that always happens. And he's like,
Uh-huh.
you really want to evaluate yourself during like your slower season, and when there's downtime, can you afford to hire that many people? So that's kind of what we've done. And we've hired 3 guys this year because we absolutely needed it. And again, we're just trying to put things into place to where my dad can kind of take a back seat, again, like offloading from his number to, this
Yeah.
AI thing,
Yeah.
and me trying to market, me trying to, do everything on the back end. And we've done really well. And again, I just don't want to lose any of that momentum. So I'm trying to make sure that everything's done or set in place for that. And that includes, the wraps, the website, the marketing. That does play a part into it, because if we just stop getting phone calls, it's going to be bad for us. So we've expanded. Thankfully, it's been busy, and we've implemented kind of a structure of how we want to grow. We kind of have a plan. We kind of have, this foreseeable in the foreseeable future. We want this many people and this many vans out there. And as long as we kept my main thing, because and it's funny because my dad still handles. So the way I forgot to mention, the way we run our AI receptionist is it only handles new customers.
Yeah.
That is kind of my thing with it right now, is I would like it to just handle new customers, weed them out, so I know who to call back. I know who's serious about work and who I need to talk to. After that, if they request it, or if I can offer it, I will give them my work number so that they can check in with us, call in with us. We can check in with them, like do all the personal stuff that you need to do. So there's different, like I said, there's different workarounds. Like if you want to use the AI only for new customers, that's how we use it, to get information, to get that first initial job scheduled. And then they get to meet us, and then we get to kind of maintain that customer afterwards. So that's the way we've implemented it. And then, just trying to put these things into place. And because what I was going to say is, my dad the other day was like, we've been busy, like crazy busy. Like
Yeah.
we've
That's
been
good. I
lucky.
mean, we're going into the winter. I feel like what you were saying is like
We've been
hard
lucky.
times to do.
So,
Yeah.
I don't take
Yeah.
it for granted. My dad the other day, or lately, because I've had some lunches with him to have these meetings and stuff about like what we plan on doing. Every time his phone rings, every time he gets a text, and it's basically like our older customers, like they need service, he like throws his phone and he throws himself back. Oh, he's like, they won't stop calling me. I'm like, more work. They need more stuff done. And like, that's what I'm trying to avoid with, putting these automations into place, right? Because you don't want to be
Yeah.
frustrated, especially on the weekend. So that's kind of, that made me laugh when we were having lunch together, because
Yeah.
he's it's a good frustration. It's a good problem to have. The phone has been ringing off the hook.
I was gonna say that's a great problem, right? That's the problem everybody's trying to look to have in a lot of
And
senses.
I've had people in my chat tell me that a lot of people are starting their own business, in the past couple of years, and they're doing it younger and younger, which is great to see. If that's their ambition, that's their desire, by all means do it. It's not for everybody. It is, especially the first few years, you're gonna do a lot. But they've asked about like how to get calls, how to get work, get customers. A lot of it is hustling, and a lot of it is putting yourself out there, which we've kind of harped on in this episode here, is just putting yourself out there. And eventually, after you put so much into it, eventually that phone will start ringing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that phone starts ringing. You answer
And
those
then you need
calls.
something like
You
CallRail
grab
to,
those good leads. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think the time is also right for a lot of like these young folks to like step in and start up new businesses. Like I think you can see um generationally, like I think there was like a slow to right like new people in that trade and stuff like that. And so it's good to see that like that's starting to pick
There might
up.
have been like a gap,
Yeah.
but lately, like 19-year-olds are looking to get themselves set up to,
That's
they have like
awesome.
this 5-year plan or whatever it is to, get licensed and get a start a business. So
Yeah.
I've always mentioned this, but like at 20 years old, I was not spending my money wisely. I was not investing in myself. I was not as driven as some of these kids now, which is great to see. And I always tell them they're way ahead of where I was at that age.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them. And hopefully they're using like uh you can use things like ChatGPT or Gemini to be like, hey, like what do I do next in starting a business? There's like all types of way to use AI, which I think um can benefit them in a cool way, which I'm excited to see, the next generation, what they're going to do with it. Because
Oh yeah.
uh, again, like it's not replacing a lot of stuff at this point in time. I don't think any time really for HVAC and refrigeration, but um, just makes life easier, right? Or like the first draft of everything easier. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
what I have to see.
Be as a tradesperson, you have a responsibility to fix things, install things, or maintenance, whatever kind of work that you do. And that is one of the reasons that I like doing what I do is being able to solve problems and fix things. And the customers are always super happy once you get them, taken care of. Whether you're doing a residential call, you help a family that is freezing, they need that heat, or in the middle of summer they need that AC. Or in my situation, it's a big restaurant or a supermarket that has a ton of product, and as soon as that freezer goes down,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money that can go
How do you
bad.
guys
So
handle like an urgent situation like that, right? Because they're like, I'm assuming they're on the
yeah,
phone. They're like, I have $1 million worth of product if you don't come here.
so we've learned from trying to do too much. So I will stay away from supermarkets. I will not work for
Okay.
Walmart or any of those anymore. We used to do a lot of convenience stores that were open 24/7. We will not do that anymore. So we've been very fortunate to be picky now, where
Yeah.
we have a certain niche, which is like fast food restaurants and local restaurants, to where it's manageable. And the only thing is now I have people that we hire that I can send, so that's a plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
Awesome.
used to be the one in the middle of the night going to these calls. Like, yes, that does happen. Um, but once you figure out a structure and a way to run your business, it kind of works itself out. That's why I said earlier, anybody starting, you're gonna do a lot those first few
Yeah.
years just to build up your name, your reputation, the scope of work, like everything that you can put together so that later you can be a little bit pickier. You can just have your name to rely on, that kind of stuff. You build it up. That's how we've done it.
Yeah. I was talking to someone else in, I think like residential HVAC, or maybe it was plumbing or something. And they were telling me about like what a customer thinks is urgent for them versus like what they think
Yeah.
is urgent. And there's often a different definition. And I was like helping them set up voices so that they can like voices can discern uh
I
who
was gonna
thinks it's
say
urgent
we
and
do need
when,
that kind of
Yeah.
distinction in the AI thing.
Yeah. Which is helpful, and like they have people that are on call, but they don't want to be woken up in the middle of the night for, something
Because
that
even
probably
for us, if we could like train the AI, I haven't dove too much into it. I just have it. I kind of looked at it. I have it set up to just, like I said, take information, but
yeah.
I haven't looked into training it. But if it could kind of, because we know our customers, we know the equipment, and I know certain customers have like the big walk-in coolers. I know they have two
Yeah.
of them, and typically if one goes out, they move the stuff over temporarily, and then we can get there in the morning or whatever it is. So there's some situations, or like my dad mentioned, because he works on like the cooking, like the fryers and stuff,
Yeah.
and they try to put in a call that they want the fourth fryer fixed, and he's like, you got three other ones. That is not an emergency call. I'm not going out right now. So there are things that maybe a AI receptionist can distinguish, like, oh, that's not an emergency, we can book you next morning, whatever it is.
Yeah.
AC calls, so residential guys, I think one of them told me yesterday, like, we don't get 24/7, or we don't give 24/7 service, because typically they can wait till the next day, or whatever it is. So, there is emergency calls and non-emergency, and it's good to distinguish that, because that's one of the reasons why we implemented, because my dad didn't my dad was trying to be the cheapest one out there when we started. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he built it up. He got it. We've been in business 20 years. It worked. But I wanted to not only raise the prices, but also implement like overtime fees and stuff to kind of deter people from calling us in the middle of the night for
Right.
something that can wait till the next day. So we've tried to kind of fix that in our business too, because that used to be the thing. You would see other companies slap on a sticker on their van, 24/7 service, but that's a big mistake, because then they'll call you in the middle of the night for something
Yeah.
that could wait.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like if you're calling someone at like 1 a.m. and they're coming out or something, like you guys deserve the overtime and whatnot too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I've told them like it's gonna cost you, and some of them are okay with it, and I'm like, well, I guess it's worth it, and we get paid the overtime, but for the most part, the reason why we implement even the CRM that we have, or CallRail, or I'm trying to work with I'm trying to work with a lot of software this year just to have our business more automated, is because I want to be free on the weekend. Like, that is my time with
yeah,
my kids. That is my
yeah,
time to do whatever we want to do, celebrate things, go out, be home for dinner. We have dinners every day. Like, I want that time away from my phone and my business. Now, I will always answer if need be, but I would like for other things to kind of handle that and be, not be so tied to the business after hours.
yeah. I mean, time with your family, I think is sacred, especially if your kids are growing up and like they're changing before your eyes, right?
Oh, it's
Um,
crazy.
yeah.
My
But
son is
I
almost taller than I am, and he's like in
no,
sixth grade. So weird. They've
it's gonna
grown
be
so
a
much.
basketball player or something.
Oh, I told him
Um,
he's going to be the tallest kid in my family, because I think, is growing quicker than I did. Yeah.
wow.
And that we just took him to the doctor for something, and he's in the top, I always forget how to word this, top 90% or something of his for his
Yeah,
height
yeah,
of
yeah.
his age. So
Right.
she's like, "Yeah, he's taller than most." I'm like, "I know."
Yeah, yeah. Went through a big growth spurt maybe. But yeah, no, I agree, like family time's important.
Is there a way, cuz the only thing that I've noticed is when people call and they are stubborn that they want to talk to somebody, is there a way for it to reroute the call to you, like if it's like urgent?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to look
Yeah.
into that.
And it could be like conditional too. It's like urgent and mentions these things. Otherwise, tell them they can't transfer.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't,
Um,
like I said, I kind of have played with
or
it, set it up, and I haven't
yeah,
like gone into like dive into
yeah,
it. Um,
yeah.
just
Because
because
we're
I've
like a small.
noticed,
Oh,
yeah,
good.
just
Go
because
ahead.
I've noticed that when they're like the I see the transcript, and it's like, I need to talk to a representative, and they just keep repeating that over and over, and they're like, the AI is like, I can't help you.
Yeah, usually the way that we'll set it up is we'll be like, hey, like in order to transfer you to the right person and see if they're
Okay.
available, like we need this information out of you. And basically that like qualifies them to be able to be transferred out. And
Okay.
you can transfer to different, like say you had an on-call staff or something like that, like you can transfer to different
Yeah.
people at different times or different
See, that's what
days.
I liked about CallRail, because your call tracking, your call, your generated numbers, you can route them to whoever you need to route them to. Because that was when I was going through the demo and stuff like that. That was a neat feature, because you have these numbers that you're trying to obviously track, and you're trying to, like, you can track a billboard, you can track a wrap, you can make as many numbers as you want to see where it came from. So if it came from an online ad, you'll see that number, what it generates, and so on and so forth. But you can also forward those or reroute those to maybe the on-call technician, or whoever needs to
Yeah,
answer that phone at that time. And you can kind of, I think you can even schedule it like certain hours or something like that.
yeah, yeah. Like and like you said, you're like, I hired people to do some of this.
Yeah.
And so, after, 9 p.m. they'll go to them or something like that.
Just
Yeah.
go
So
straight to them, and they can be on
yeah.
call. Yeah.
Um, but no, I think we have like the infrastructure right of like call tracking and whatnot. And so like we're not like a single just like voice AI platform out there, which we've benefited a lot of because we have all of like this extra infrastructure, I guess,
Yeah.
to benefit off of and kind of give you all like the data alongside. the ability to do some things, and like also just the workflows and all that good stuff to make it easier, more efficient for your business. So
Yeah, and I asked about if AI could hand off the call, because like we all deal with it, and that's what frustrates me sometimes is people, because I had one, but they were upset about something else. They were like trying to complain about something. I don't know what it was. It was one of those kinds of customers that just you were not going to make happy. So and it was somebody that we did not do work for. It was just they wanted to call to complain about something. I was like, okay. They kept saying that they wanted to talk to somebody, right? And I was like, for one, they were upset that it was AI, but I feel like in today's day and age, because again, I always go back to me as a consumer or a customer myself. Any business I call, it could be a store, it could be a restaurant, they don't answer the phone anymore. It's all this automation, like
yeah,
pick a
the menu.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick a number. This menu will transfer you. Like you have to go through a lot to finally get to somebody, if it even lets you. And I'm like, I think we're allowed to have our AI receptionist because everybody else is doing this automation. And I think AI receptionists are better than a lot of these automation things where you have to like sit there through the whole thing and trying to figure out how to transfer over to who you need to. And I get so frustrated because I think I know Walmart was doing it, and there was another one where you sat through the whole thing, finally get transferred over, and that person doesn't answer. It just hangs up on you, and you're like, oh well.
Yeah. And you're like, I didn't even get to like tell you guys what I'm looking to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So
Yeah.
I feel like the AI thing is a whole better route because
Yeah.
everybody's doing it. It's kind of the normal now, and
Yeah.
it's better than the automation stuff for sure. But I was
Yeah.
just thinking, like on some of those, you can like you spam zero or something to talk to an operator. Um, so that's why I was asking if it could reroute. But you said you can kind of set it up to only reroute if they need to.
Yeah, you can put those guardrails in place that like if they're uh, metaphorically, right, clicking zero by saying like talk to representative, like you can
Yeah.
figure out if you want that or not for your business, and make sure that like your voice assistant is trained to do whatever you tell it to do. Just
Yeah, it's a good thing.
really nice. Yeah, yeah.
Was there anything you kind of wanted to end on with CallRail itself? Like, why would somebody want to use CallRail for their business? It could be the marketing side or whatever side. I know we kind of talked a lot about the AI part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked today a lot about like, playing both offense and defense with your business. And a lot of that starts with marketing and, getting your name out there, getting brand awareness, but also doing like advertising if you want to grow your business and you want to, take market share or land share, right, among your community. And I think the important piece of that is like if you're spending money on marketing and you're doing any type of like brand awareness stuff, that's investment that you have put out there, and you should make sure that you answer the phone, or at least capture those leads in some way, shape, or form. And I would recommend a voice assistant or some type of voice AI to go do so.
Yeah, I think again, it's super important. And for anybody, because even myself for so long, I was like, yeah, word of mouth, word of mouth. Your work speaks for yourself. And honestly, it does at a certain point, but if you're starting out or if you're having a hard time getting customers or business, because I've heard that so many times too, is you can do the best work in the world, but if nobody sees it or nobody knows that you exist, it's not going to do anything for you. And you know, having all your eggs in one basket, because we've been there before too, and we lost everything and had to start over. It's never a good thing. Never a good thing to rely on one source. Grow with the market, because I can tell you, even in my area, it's a super small town, or was, and that market has changed. It is now a lot of big businesses, a lot of big companies, a lot of competitors, and if you're not doing something to stand out, which I've talked about, being unique, being creative, you have to, do that in the field, but also do that for your business. And it helps you keep afloat. And like with CallRail, with marketing and the AI, all that kind of stuff can help you figure that out. And that's what I tell people. If you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, you need to find something that can help you do that, right? Like if you don't know how to do marketing, like all that kind of stuff, you can look into, getting help somewhere. If you don't know what's working, what's not, that's what CallRail is built to do, is to help you figure out what is working. And yeah, nobody likes to waste money on ads that don't work.
Yeah, for sure. We try to make it easy to find out which to do and don't. So yeah,
Yeah, for
come
sure.
try us out. We're a 14-day free trial. I'll plug that.
And
So
that's what I love,
yeah,
because a lot of
yeah,
the software companies that we're using or that I'm working with this year, a lot of them emphasize or help the small business, and that's what I love, because it is affordable. Like you said, it is easy to use. It is again affordable, and there's the 2 week free trial. There's no, if you don't like
yes.
it,
So
you
we
don't like
have
it. Yeah, and you can try it out, see, navigate around, see if you like it or not. And it is something that can help any size really, but I think the small business benefits a lot, because one of the other things that I'll kind of end on, and what I've harped on a lot lately, because again, I'm experiencing this in real time with my business, and trying to figure out how to make us as a small business look like a big business and keep up with those giants,
Mhm.
right? What I've always said is you have to, you have to look the part, you have to act the part to get the part. So you need to act like a big business, look like a big business professionally, right? Uniform,
Right.
wraps or lettering, however you want to do it, whatever you can afford. A good website, be a good Google business profile, like all these things that all the big businesses do. You can do it. It doesn't cost a lot to do a lot of these things. Like you can do it, and you can look like one of these bigger businesses and get the benefits of customers. Like I said, I think we got a lot of our recent customers, because they were haggling us. Oh, I don't know, that's expensive. All this other stuff. But they're like, oh, we still want you to do it. And I do firmly believe it's because of how we presented ourselves. Like we were very professional looking, and we
Yeah.
looked like a bigger business. I think you do have to look the part. So that's just my experience with it. And that's what I've been harping on, is really good uniforms, really good vans, really good website, really good SEO. All that plays into part.
I couldn't agree more. Well, thanks for having me on, Adrian.
Yeah, no problem. I think this was a great conversation. I've been trying to kind of show more of the back end stuff, because there's like I said, a lot of people starting their own business, and I think they need to hear some of this stuff. And I appreciate you for taking the time, kind of going through all the marketing and AI that we got into today. I think it's going to help a lot of people.
For sure. For sure. And I'll send you that number if you ever want to play with it too.
I
So,
definitely need to show it on air. I've been meaning to do that because some people think it's like a robot thing. I'm like, no, it actually sounds pretty good. And
yeah,
a lot of people, if they're serious, they will leave a message and kind of interact with the AI. And we've had it work a lot more times than you would think.
cool. Cool. That's great.
All right.
Cheers.
Thanks again, everybody watching and listening. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.